of you are looking for any last-minute gift ideas for me, I have one. I'd like Frank Shirley, my boss, right here tonight. I want him brought from his happy holiday slumber over there on Melody Lane with all the other rich people, and I want him brought right here with a big ribbon on his head. And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta,
where seasons are just a weather suggestion and not a rule.
it's 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm wondering who it is exactly that gives birth to Baby New Year. I mean, Father Time? I don't know.
That sounds painful. So, let's talk about some stuff.
Did anything happen this year?
No, it was pretty, nothing, not at all.
For some reason, I'm thinking of an orange circus peanut. Why am I thinking? Oh,
yeah, that whole thing. We'll try to skirt that, but yeah, it's the end of the year.
What's that? Did you say skirt?
Yeah, it is. It's the end of the year, and much like everyone else, we're gonna kind of go over. I wouldn't say necessarily top 5 lists and all that jazz, but we're just gonna wrap up what we thought of. The entertainment.
Some new stuff that's come along towards the end of the year. Some favorites from previous in the year, and and probably a couple of fuck Donald Trump because it's been a year.
Yeah, because
it's been a year in which he's been president.
Right,
so obviously that'll help.
Trump. So the thing I just wanted to touch on before we get started, on our last episode, we did. I guess I'm gonna have to go say my favorite movie of the year, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which is just because it is what it is.
I would probably say that probably 2, but I see so few films in the theater if we don't review on the podcast that by the time they come out on DVD or Blu-ray or Redbox or whatever, it'll probably be 2018. I mean, I'm dying to see Shape of Water. Dying.
Well, that's that we'll get to that because
what's opening on December 25th?
What?
It's the new Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Okay, which one?
The Phantom Thread.
No, okay, I haven't even heard of that.
Apparently, it's the last role that Daniel Day-Lewis is doing before he retires from acting.
Yes,
and it's Daniel Day-Lewis with Paul Thomas Anderson together again. First time since There Will Be Blood.
Okay.
An amazing film. Yep. I tell you, it's period. It's in England. It's a costume drama. I am fucking there.
And
because
I will be there too, because that's Courtney's favorite thing.
Oh, yeah. Because my favorite TV show this year is season 2 of The Crown.
Okay.
I fucking love The Crown.
Okay.
Seeing Doctor Who play Prince Philip has been.
How is he in that?
He's good. I mean, he definitely comes across as kind of a peeved and peevish, kind of a man-child some of the time. He's got issues. I wonder what the actual Prince Philip thinks about it. I don't know. I don't know if they watch, but Claire Foy as Elizabeth.
I was going to say that's who Claire Foy is.
Her we do think that this is quite, that queen voice that, very few people have other than the queen.
And what is it that you do?
We, however, are amused.
Yeah.
We are quite amused.
Yeah, I believe, I've heard a bunch of people, like actors and stuff, who have been knighted, like Patrick Stewart, and they say that's what she says to you. Like, she'll shake you when, you don't speak till spoken to, but what she says is usually, and what do you do? Like, who are you?
Yes. What minds do you toil in?
So does she portray that as like an affectation, or is that how she speaks?
From what I understand, that's how
the queen speaks.
That is how she speaks. Now, obviously, this takes place in the late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, okay. So
basically, the series starts, in the run up to the death of her father and her becoming queen.
Okay.
And the marriage to Philip, soon to be Prince Philip, and all. It's I'm not a huge royal fan like Not at all. I mean, fuck the royals. But it's a British costume drama with a really cool accent.
We watched both The King's Speech, which featured a young Elizabeth.
Yes.
And what was the one, Wallace Simpson?
W,
is that what it was?
Well, there's been a couple. There's one, I think, Madonna.
Yeah,
Good
I think
God.
we saw that one, which was...
And I thought it was actually very competent. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to forgive a lot if it's a British costume drama. Sorry, it could be average filmmaking and I'll still adore it.
Right.
And the great thing is that, Madonna didn't cast herself as Wallace Simpson,
Yes.
which was a very big plus.
Yes.
And not even her has that much hubris to cast herself in that role. She didn't cast herself in any role, which works out very nicely.
Yeah.
So let's face it, she's definitely an icon. She can carry a tune. And, but as far as the acting goes, unless she's playing herself a la Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yeah. She hasn't done much.
I mean, Evita...
Yeah. That was okay.
Well, but let's we'll do our Madonna episode. Let's see, in 20 never.
Yeah, 20 never.
Yeah, 20 never. So that's been something that I've really enjoyed this year.
Okay.
Now, one show that everyone's talking about that I have not seen yet, I've been waiting to get to it, is Mindhunters. Have you heard about that?
I've heard of it. I
heard the title and went, oh, God, this sounds ridiculously stupid.
Uh-huh.
And then I read the synopsis and heard some of the buzz and went, oh, it's basically the beginning of profiling serial killers and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
So, and everyone says it's amazing.
It's another Netflix deal, right?
It's a Netflix deal.
Okay.
Netflix, I mean, the Netflix takes away a la House of Cards, or at least Kevin Spacey of House of Cards.
Well, yeah.
That happened this year.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Hey, if you've been a dick, you're probably going to go down.
Yeah.
But if not, you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people got what they finally deserved.
Yeah.
After all these
It's tough to be a man right now. I don't know if I could ask a woman out. Like, of course you can.
Yeah.
And then if she curves you, you respect the answer, and then you fuck off.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
And don't pull your junk out and show it to her unless she asks.
How does that? And what woman has ever said, "Hey, you over there, come over here, whip it out"? No woman has.
No one.
Unless you're at some kind of weird sex retreat somewhere, that doesn't happen. That's not how it goes.
Right.
Most of that, I'm sure it has happened somewhere.
Yeah, but especially
kind of like the construction worker that whistles at the woman and she turns around and goes, yeah, let's go somewhere. I like to fuck you. Maybe it happened once.
Yeah.
She was having a weird day, and the word got around through the generations of construction workers, hey, let's hassle women, and hopefully one of them will just turn around and go, yeah, come on, big boy.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Right. I'm glad Harvey Weinstein finally got taken down. He's always been, kind of an awful monster.
Kind of a greasy...
Yeah, he's always been kind of you could tell he's got that shady gangster shitbag kind of vibe, and now we know for sure exactly what he, the rumors.
I mean, it's one level to do that kind of shit. It's another level to send lawyers and private detectives to destroy the lives of people that dare to speak out against you.
Yeah, like Mira Sorvino got, it's all kinds of...
Yeah, so fuck him straight in the neck hole.
Yeah.
As far as Al Franken goes, we can agree both are bad, but there's a difference between forcibly raping somebody on the casting couch and maybe getting a little handsy by patting the butt.
Still not right.
Both are wrong.
Yeah,
both are absolutely wrong. But where I come in is that you rape someone on the casting couch, there's no redemption from that.
No.
You pat someone on the butt, you got to pay the price. You have to pay the price. What should that price be? Not as much as rape, but maybe there's a chance for redemption.
Yeah,
no redemption for Weinstein.
Not at all.
And Spacey, apparently. I mean, when it was that one guy, I went, well,
but it was one guy who was like 15
yeah,
or something. Anti-rap.
And then of course it came out with all this other stuff. Nope, sorry.
Yeah, you're done.
If you had one lapse, we've all had lapses in judgment of one kind or another. Don't want that to define your life. But if it's a pattern over decades, sorry, man.
Yeah.
You need to go away and pretty much stay away.
A friend of ours brought up a good point. He's like, well, what about forgiveness? Is there no room for forgiveness anymore? And there is. Like, people should be able to be forgiven and redeemed.
I could see where people, it's not our job to forgive any of these people. It's the people that were wronged. But, you know, kind of like the woman that Roman Polanski, you know, the 13-year-old. Dear God. I mean,
yeah, that's
16-year-old. They're saying it's pedophilia. Like, no, that's, you know, but 13. I'm sorry, that's still a kid.
Yeah.
And she said, "I've forgiven him. I've moved on," and that's her job to do that. Not any of that.
That doesn't like clear him of anything.
No. Consequences are immutable. You have to suffer the consequences. But if forgiveness and you've shown, you know, you're contrite and apologetic and you go away for a while, depending on what you did, maybe there's room for you to come back. Al Franken, he's almost ready to come back now because it looks like it was a hit job by the right wing.
We hear it, yeah.
But we don't know, but got to believe the women first. If it's proved later that they were coerced or they're lying, you know, or whatever.
That photograph of him with Leanne Tweeden is, I mean, it's obviously a staged.
Right.
He's a comedian.
Exactly. He wasn't like, no one's looking, I'm going to grab her boobs.
No,
it wasn't that.
He was staring at the camera.
It was being
other
juvenile.
women
Stupid and juvenile.
Right. He was on fucking Saturday Night Live in the John Belushi days.
Stupid and juvenile
and high on drugs. And, you know, again, other women have come forth and said that things have happened, and we got to believe that.
Absolutely.
But again, some of this looks like a Target job, but
yeah,
that might be just our
and that's, you know,
liberal paranoia.
As we're peeling the onion and being very careful, you know, it's, you know, don't want to say that there's, you know, some sexual assault that is okay, like patting the butt, and where rape is not.
It's not.
It's all wrong. I'm talking on the other side where, can you come back? Is there room for forgiveness?
Yeah.
I mean, there are mothers that have forgiven the men that have murdered their sons. So forgiveness is definitely on the table all around for everybody, but it's not my job to forgive Harvey Weinstein.
No.
And I'm not going to, even if I did. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
So
I've told you, like, Kevin Smith is donating any money he makes from Miramax to women in film and something else.
Yeah, I think it's RAINN, Rape and Incest Network.
Yeah, I think it's
the
RAINN
thing that
and
Tori
women in
Amos
film.
started because she was raped.
Yeah.
You know, and she set that up as soon as she got a little bit of fame and stardom and money, went, all right, I need to give back, and that's what she started, and good for her. So
all right.
So anyway, fuck those guys. 2017. Let's hope that we've cleared the deck of these assholes. I'm sure there'll be new assholes in 2018.
Well, I'm hoping this scared off the assholes for a while at least. Like maybe if one predator thinks twice about doing this, all of it's worth it.
Yes, it's like, wow, man, I could totally nail this chick on the casting couch, or whatever the situation is. Oh, but I might lose my entire career.
Yeah,
because
that has to be a real thing.
Let's face it, Harvey Weinstein was like the most powerful guy in Hollywood, just about, and it all came crumbling down. Nobody is untouchable. Right. He may be able to go to his mansion and have his millions and not like starve on the street.
Right.
But his
company is gone.
I think it's completely gone. I think they got rid of him and they sold it off, or they're looking to do something.
They're going to liquidate it or something.
Yeah, because you can't have a company with the name Weinstein even on the masthead, let alone the name of the company. Right. You can't do it. That name is, you know,
so
dead.
Good things that happen.
Good things.
Let's talk about it. Well, I want to talk about the one movie or one real movie. I don't think we chatted about it on the show. That I was really disappointed in. That was The Dark Tower, the Stephen King.
I was so disappointed in it that I didn't even watch it because I waited and went 90-minute runtime, and people are I waited to hear what people said back, and I went, okay, it's as bad as I thought. Now, you've seen it.
I did. I watched it. I had a free weekend, and I
think we did touch on this a little bit.
I don't think we did talk about it, but we didn't talk about it on the podcast. I rented it. I was by myself and I watched the whole thing. And my take on the whole thing is that there's almost no movie there. Like, as much of an epic as The Dark Tower itself is, there's nothing there. There's just no movie. It's like Idris is great, but he's almost not in it. It focused mainly on the kid.
Yeah.
And like, it all started in New York, and like the kid going through, which is,
well, that's bold because very few films take place in New York.
Right.
I mean, when Americans make films, it's usually in Des Moines, or Poughkeepsie,
right.
Or Topeka, Kansas.
And if anybody's read the book, I mean, the kid doesn't come in till halfway through the book, from what I remember. It's been a long time. I read all of them. From what I remember, I mean, it starts with the gunslinger chasing the man in black across the desert. That's like the opening line of the saga, and there wasn't any of that. There was none of that. And, you know, they were the man in black played competently, I'll say, by Matthew McConaughey. He wasn't bad. He was fine. They were attacking the actual tower, and they showed the tower, and they were showing them attacking the tower. I was like, why, we should never see this.
Wow. Yeah. Talk about shooting your load. Like 3, 4, 5 films before it should happen.
Right. Basically, they were finding kids with shine, which I was like, oh, that's cool. They brought that in, and they were like doing something to their brains, and it was like powering their weapon to hit the tower, and it was like, that's not right. That's not what is that? And then, you know, like I said, there's not that much Idris Elba in it. I watched some of the deleted scenes, and that's where all the Ka like a wheel and all the real like mythology of the gunslingers and all that is. None of it's in the movie. None of it.
Yeah, let's cut that out so there's something.
Right. Let's make it 90 minutes. So that was a big snooze and like such a missed opportunity. I mean, as a completist, you might want to see it just to see how awful it is.
You know what? I will wait. If they do another one, maybe.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
because hopefully
bother.
they've learned from their mistake and might try to correct the ship.
But there's no ship to correct. There isn't. There's nothing to correct. Like, it kind of resolved in a way. They stopped.
I keep hearing that they're going to try to do a Dark Tower series, which would be great.
Well, that was in the original architecture. Yeah, they were going to do. I thought they were going to do the first book and then do the second book as a series, which makes sense because that's a big expositional. Like, we're going to go find people, go through the doors, find Eddie, find Odetta, and but there's no room for that at all. So, meh.
Well, it'll be the one and only Stephen King adaptation that isn't good. I'm sorry, it's the other way around.
Yeah, there's good one.
There's like 5 good ones,
right,
and everything else has been like
garbage.
Maximum fucking overdrive. You know, that's not just one of the worst Stephen King adaptations. One of the worst film adaptations. Period.
That one I've not seen.
You walk out of the theater going, why was this made?
Who thought this was a good idea?
I don't understand.
Cheap rights, I guess, like you said, he sells them for $1.
Man, well, this one he directed Maximum Overdrive.
Right.
That's his baby.
Yeah,
and he probably should have adopted it out. Maybe.
Nope. Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say aborted it, but
get a nanny at least. You know, to raise it.
Yeah, send it off to boarding school for like 18 years.
I'm actually reading Insomnia at the moment. I'd never read it. I have a giant stack of books I've been trying to read to get out of my home, and I'm.
So what? You're trapped in your home and you're reading the books so that you can get out the door? Is that what you're saying? Or you want to get the books out?
The books out.
I see.
have to. I live in my apartment is as big as this table, so.
All right. I was wondering. It's like, would you climb out the window to get here?
Yeah,
all
but
right,
I'm reading Insomnia right now, and it's like the last couple of King books I've read. It started very slowly, and all of a sudden it took me several weeks to read the first 200 pages, and then several days to read the next 400 pages. So
that's how The Stand was for me. I first started. I took a crack at The Stand for the first time, I think, in junior high, maybe 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, somewhere in there, and couldn't get. I'm like, what? This is dumb. No. And I tried a couple more times, and I just went, you know what? I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, let's actually put gas in this engine.
That's what it seems
like. And I was
like,
whoa.
I think Dr. Sleep was the same way. You lent me that one, the sequel to The Shining, and it was the same way. I was like, what's going on? Nothing is happening.
I think he wants to set up the world and get some plot points that don't seem relevant now that will be later. But in that getting the world set up or reestablished in the case of Dr. Sleep, you're kind of...
Well, that's the only one that...
Come on.
That's the only one that made sense to me because I had read The Shining for the first time right before. You were like, oh, here's the sequel. Great. And the structure was exactly the same way. Real slow burn, and then all of a sudden picked up and went.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Hey, let's talk about those Force haters.
Yeah, there's been a weird ass backlash to Force Awakens. Now I've seen it twice. I took Courtney the other day, so I've seen it twice. And the second time, I was almost giggling through the whole movie because Rian Johnson basically is in many, many, many lines of the dialogue is telling the fans what he is doing. There are lines like, "It is time to let old things die. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. We're not going to win this by killing what we hate. We're going to save what we love." A la the prequels. This will not go the way you think it will. He is telling you direct to his face that I'm going to fuck shit up. I'm going to change this to a different thing, and it needed to be at this point.
Right. Well, and keep in mind, they've got one more in the, we're going to go ahead and say, Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
I would almost bet the bank that after episode 9, they may talk about Luke Skywalker maybe, but those original characters are gone.
No, that's
there will be no more Luke Force Ghost.
No.
If he shows up at 9, he probably will. Yeah. There will be no Force Ghost of, that's done.
Yeah.
They're going to cleave because they barely got back Carrie Fisher for 2 films before she passed away.
Well, they said that's what this whole, because Rian Johnson is doing the next trilogy, and that's what they said. No Skywalker.
Whoa. They've announced the next trilogy?
Yes, where have you been? Yes, Rian Johnson has been handed the keys to a brand new trilogy.
What?
Yes, several weeks ago.
I didn't know that.
Not Skywalker related, different sector of the galaxy or whatever. It's still Star Wars, but
will there be sand?
We don't know. We don't know. It gets everywhere, but we don't know.
I want salt with fucking blood red clay underneath.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
That was gorgeous.
Well, good, because I thought Jedi was very ambitious. It fell short in a few places, but not many, man.
And it holds up. Like the second time
Yeah,
through,
I
it
have
held
yet to
up.
see
I
it.
was still crying, and in the same spots, and more so in others, because I knew what was coming. And
Were you still kind of oh, come on, when Carrie Fisher force projected herself back into the ship?
no, I was cool with that both times. I like it. Yes, it's much, but I thought it was a really intense moment. Again,
It would have been awesome because now they're under the same, banner. If fucking Star-Lord showed up and just took her back into the thing, like, see you later, and then just went off like,
Hey, haven't we done this before?
yeah, exactly. What?
Yeah, but there's been a real crazy backlash of nerds who were like, this isn't Star Wars, and we want to remove it from the canon, and it's like, you're
What? And the prequels were?
right.
I mean,
It's the same nerds who were complaining that Force Awakens was the exact same movie as New Hope. It's the same people. It's like you're never going to be happy. You get something that is familiar and like something, which is
Right.
what it needed to be. It had to get back to what people loved about Star Wars, and this had to flip it on its head.
what they want is a magic pill that will make them 8 years old again, turn back the
Yes.
clock to 1977, and have them experience a Star Wars film for the first time.
Right.
Believe me, I would take that pill.
Me too.
I would love to take that pill.
We are
that
lucky.
pill does not exist.
Right. We are lucky enough to have had that.
Class of 77,
Right.
motherfuckers.
There from day one.
Yeah.
I've seen it every time it's been released in a theater. Every single time.
Yep.
Which is because back in the day, kids, before home video and Blu-ray and all that stuff, they would re-release movies, and they would stay in the theater for months and months and months.
Absolutely.
And I went to every time it came out.
And sometimes they'd bring them back.
Yeah.
Like they'd sense like, yeah.
Every
we could,
2 years, they
we
would
could-
bring it, throw it in the
Disney
theater.
was notorious. Remember how Disney, we're putting this DVD back in the vault.
Oh, yeah. They still do that
And then
shit.
we'll release it again under another kind of,
Yeah.
instead of the Platinum Collection, it'll be the Diamond Collection.
Right.
Platinum Collection is still in the vault.
Right.
See,
You
we
can't get
kept
that
our
one.
promise.
Yeah.
But the Diamond Edition,
Yep.
which has 1 millisecond of additional footage,
Yeah, and
where
back-
Thumper's arm goes up, so
Right.
and that's what they did back then. If a film was that big, they'd go, all right, we know how things are.
Well, even like the Disney stuff, they would just re-release it every couple of years so people could see it because
Absolutely.
there was no other way to do it.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
So-
Yeah, the camcorder in the audience, that wasn't a thing.
there wasn't a thing. There was no other outlet. People they would show
Exactly.
things on TV now and again, like The Wonderful World of Disney, and they would show Star Wars on
Yeah,
TV.
but The Wonderful World of Disney was only an hour long, so
True.
they couldn't
But I mean,
show
they
a
would
full-
show movies on
Yeah,
TV.
or they do
then.
clips. They
Yeah.
do a lot of clips from, here's that scene.
Right.
Why'd you choose the scene where Bambi's mother died for The Wonderful World? What's wrong with you?
That's not wonderful at all.
No.
Yeah, so haters, there are going to be haters of everything.
Haters are gonna hate.
Yeah, and I hate that word and that term, but nerds just have to hate what they love. That's how it works. And
believe me, after the prequels, I have exercised my ability to hate something I love.
yeah, and I was
so
on
well.
the other camp of desperately trying to love it, and I still will pick out bits and pieces.
Oh yeah, of
that
course.
are good.
I have said that you could take the 3 prequel films and make one very solid 2-hour film with a lot of editing and a tiny bit of reshooting.
Yeah.
And a lot of post voice work. Mostly that's
cut that out.
No, you put that on the bank at Mustafar while
Yes.
the emperor needs to tell him.
Anakin has to say that.
Anakin
not
says
Vader.
that because once the mask is on, Vader's a badass. He is full of anger, and
the first thing he should have said was, "What is thy bidding, my master?"
and then cut. That's it.
On one knee. That's how that should have gone. But Last Jedi, yes, a lot of people are whining about it. I don't care. I loved it. I loved every second of it. For the most part.
Well, and turning back to a little bit of what we were just talking about with the whole Me Too and the guy. Apparently, there's another petition going on to remove Matt Damon from Ocean's 8. Have you heard about this?
Oh, because
they're doing a female prequel.
Yeah.
And well, why would they call it Ocean's 8? Well, they're doing another trilogy. 8, 9, 10 will then tie into Ocean's 11, which was...
Oh.
That's
Okay.
what they're doing, provided it gets that far. I mean, if this movie flops. But basically, it's Sandra Bullock is in
Bullock,
it. And what's Tim Burton's...
Helena Bonham Carter.
Helena Bonham Carter's in it.
I think Mindy Kaling's in it.
Yeah, and also Rihanna.
Yeah, that's like...
And apparently...
And Julie Roberts, too, I think. Because she's in the original...
She is.
She's in... I think she's in it?
Is she? I don't know.
Okay.
But... Here's the thing. In the trailer, I did not see or hear Matt Damon, but apparently he's in the film. And a lot of people are signing a petition to have him removed from the film.
Because of his stupid comments?
Because, well, now, what I understand his comments to be is simply saying what we just said, that, yes, there's a difference between raping somebody and grabbing their ass. Both are evil and must be addressed. That's what I understand. Was there more?
I've not watched his comments, so
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what he said. Like we were saying, there is a difference, but there's no difference.
Well, there's a difference in degree of offense after you've been punished or been dealt with. That maybe there's room for redemption.
Right.
That's what I feel. But if he was saying that, you pat a girl on the ass and you should get a pass on that, but not the rape people, I'm like, no. I say
You don't get a pass for any of it.
And what they're asking a big Hollywood film to just excise someone in the editing room when the film is about to come out, and like,
Ridley Scott just did it.
With Kevin Spacey.
And Christopher
Yeah, but
Plummer.
there was a lot of pressure on that because it had to meet some kind of deadline to be able to be considered for an Oscar and a bunch of stuff. But blah 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 blah.
Ocean's 8: Olivia Munn, Cate Blanchett, Matt Damon, Dakota Fanning, Sandra Bullock, Anne Hathaway, Sarah
right.
Paulson.
Oh, Sarah Paulson.
Katie Holmes, Helena Bonham Carter, Rihanna, Mindy Kaling, and what looks like a bunch of bit players. Some more names. But,
or names that we don't recognize.
Well, no, there's some more names that we do recognize. Kylie Jenner.
All right, stop.
Yeah,
that's
why
right.
I
now
stopped.
I remember.
The Kardashians seem to be attached somehow.
The plot of it is they're going to rob some jewelry or a big jewelry piece from the Met Gala in New York, and that attracts a lot of vapid D-listers.
Yeah, they're all in there.
Much like Kardashians or Kylie Jenner.
Exactly, Kardashians.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So there we go.
Okay.
So, I don't know the extent of what Matt said, and maybe he said something that because I did see a clip. Now, whether that was in its entirety what he said on the subject, but I listened to it and went, That's what we just said.
Yeah.
Both things are awful. One is not the same as the other. I'm like, okay, maybe he patted someone on the ass himself and is like laying the groundwork, going, I patted someone on the ass in '98. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me.
Well, that shit's gonna happen. Like then those, as they say, them chickens are gonna come home to roost on some of these dudes, and it's gonna be bad. So, well, yeah, I don't know much about that, about the Matt Damon thing. So, all right, moving on. So let's talk about some TV stuff that.
Oh, I've got some stuff to talk
I've got some stuff. I didn't watch a lot of TV this year. They're just.
I did.
Or I didn't add a lot of new stuff.
Because I usually work at my desk and have TV shows going.
Right.
Which unfortunately means that I don't give it as much attention.
Yeah.
Like The Crown. No. That's a sit down and watch thing.
Yeah.
But the series that I just finished, Wet Hot American Summer, 10 years later.
I haven't seen it. My buddy's daughter is in it, evidently.
It's my friend Melanie was a producer, a line producer on that. It's in line with what the rest was. I mean, just for those who don't know, Wet Hot American Summer was done, I want to say around 2000 maybe, something like that. Offbeat, died in the theater. Just, no business. Came out on home video and got a cult following. Because it's a very unique, funny film, but it's a very specific...
full of great people, great comedic
Well, it's the state.
Yeah.
It's the guys from the state. And it's... It's a particular brand of humor that you have to appreciate to get. I appreciate it to a degree, to a certain degree.
Me too. It's not my favorite thing.
No.
I like all those guys. I'm a huge Thomas Lennon fan,
Right.
and Ken Marino and all those guys,
Right.
and David Wayne and
Exactly. Showalter
and
the whole
all that.
bit. And then when they announced they were going to do a prequel, like 10, 15 years later, a prequel, I'm like, how the hell are they going to do that?
That's pretty damn funny if you think about it.
And they did it, and they actually joked about it, in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look a day over, and that takes place, I believe, the day before the film, it happened. So now this new series that came out is 10 years later. So apparently in the film, they said, hey, let's get together 10 years from now, but let's make it at 9:30 because I got something at 11, And the whole series, this whole, 8 episodes is about that 24 hours of them, or that weekend of them coming back to Camp Firewood. And there's angry presidents, nuclear bombs, a talking can of mixed vegetables, which is amazing.
Okay.
Because it's not just sitting there talking, it's doing things. They upped their mixed veg game on this one. And I tell you, there's about, in the whole 8 episodes, there's about 2 or 3 times where I laughed out loud. The rest I just kind of smirked. Yeah. Because their comedy is not the, set up punchline and then you laugh.
No.
It's just the absurd stuff.
Right.
Where you just go, okay, that happened. And you're entertained by it, but you're not necessarily laughing out loud. Well, the series ends with them saying like, well, I got to go. I got that thing at 11, and, well, what is it? Well, funny story. Credits. And something tells me
they're gonna do
what he does at 11 is going to be the next series.
Why not?
And if Netflix gives the green light, they will write it.
That's hilarious.
I was entertained, but not to the point where when the box set comes out, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
That's a watch once and go, I'm glad I saw it,
Yeah.
not wasted time, and now I'm done.
Okay.
I like The Crown. Got to get it on Blu-ray.
I think if we're talking like Netflix stuff, the thing that I enjoyed the most this year was Glow.
Oh, yeah.
I thought every bit of that was fantastic.
And the one actor that makes it the best show this year, probably.
Maron?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Maron.
Yeah, Marc Maron.
Playing himself, essentially.
Essentially, yeah.
I mean, that's he's
him.
not stretching, and that's fine.
I've listened to several hundred hours of his podcast and a lot of his comedy. That's just him.
Exactly.
Maybe a little less angst-ridden as he is in real life and a little more asshole. But I think that's who he was in the 90s as well, is what he said.
Yeah.
You
well,
know,
this takes place in the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah, but that was him in the 90s.
Yeah.
And,
well, and it's kind of like, you know, Jack Nicholson, he only has one note. Yeah, but it's a pretty fucking good note.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with Maron, at least.
He generally plays that guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's that guy.
He was in Almost Famous as that guy.
Yeah.
He was the band manager yelling at people. But this, like, I mean, he's a main character in the series. I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's about the origin of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, which was a real thing on, I want to say syndication.
It was. It was on Fox 5 out of, no, that's here. Was it? I think it might have been Fox 5 also in Los Angeles, whatever the Los Angeles station.
I'm trying to think. I think it was on Channel 11 WPIX out of New Jersey in New York. I can't remember, but it was a Sunday or a Saturday morning thing after cartoons, and it was a female wrestling show.
And let me tell you, if you thought the Bears doing the Super Bowl shuffle was absolute great music, you'll love the Rapping and Glow.
Yeah,
because it is on par with that masterwork.
Yeah, and they did it at the end of every episode, I think, and it was a real thing. And this is like a dramatized comedic version of it being being created, and it's amazing. It's really, really well done,
and it's been picked up for another season.
Excellent,
because we well, not to give anything away, but the end of the first season, they reach a point where, okay, this could go
one way or the other,
you know, and let's see how it goes. And
yeah, they left it nicely. You know, it was a good ending. If it was the end of the first, if they weren't going to do any more, it was fine. It was like.
And see, that's the thing that would agonize me if I was writing for a TV show. You know, you have to operate within, you know, realistic constraints. You don't know when you arc out the first season or the first 5 seasons, because if you're looking to be on the air to tell your entire tale.
Well, from what I understand, that's almost like standard practice now. That in the pitch meeting, it's like what happens in season 5,
right?
You know, there's no guarantee you're going to get it, but that's
right. They want to know that if they're going to go in for one, and it does well, that you have something for 2, 3, 4, and 5. But where the thing that I would like to, you know, you've got to get to that series/season cliffhanger each season.
Yep.
Very few shows are picked up for multiple seasons in one go.
Yeah.
Very few. You know, that one show that Charlie Sheen did for FX.
Anger Management. Yeah.
They picked it up for, I think, 100 episodes.
Well, that was in
the aftermath of him leaving 2.5 Men.
Right, and that was
they wanted
deal.
to lock him down.
Well, that was his deal. He said if it gets X amount of ratings, I want a guarantee of 100 episodes or something, and it fucking did it. And it was
it got the 100 episodes. I don't know about the rating. I watched.
Well, it got the initial rating on the first.
Yeah.
Couple
I watched.
episodes.
Well, yeah, because that's a good indication.
Well, that's what that was the
deal.
The deal, yeah. If this episode gets this amount of ratings, lock it in or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've watched it, and
I watched a couple of. I mean, it's
based on a movie with speaking of Nicholson and Adam
Sandler and Nicholson. Yeah. Based on barely. I mean, the series just doesn't have.
It was just that same Charlie Sheen guy, you know, who was kind of him and kind of the same character from
2.5 Men,
which is also not that watchable.
It's like he writes into every contract, I have to sleep with at least one beautiful woman in every episode.
Right.
And
that's not a TV show.
How he has escaped. I guess he just paid for all the sex he got. Because he said in interviews, like, why do you pay for women and drugs? And I ran out of things to buy. So I'm like, ugh.
That's creepy.
I mean,
on a lot of levels.
Well, creepy, but I'm a firm believer. If 2 consenting adults want to enter into an agreement, however it is, whether it's love and you get married, or if it's I give you $1,000 and we have sex or whatever, if 2 consenting adults want to do that, that's one. The key thing is consenting and adults.
Right.
Beyond that, it ain't none of my damn business.
Right,
so
right,
if he
right.
wants to spend his millions on hookers and blow, knock yourself out.
If he found someone willing to enter into that agreement, why
Exactly.
not?
I mean, we could look up from the outside and go, "That's sad. That's a shame," or whatever. But you know what?
Is it? No. It's fine.
It may be a shame for for us to think that way, but who cares what we think?
Right.
Who gives a damn?
Right.
Anyway,
what other TV have you liked?
The Marvelous Miss Maisel on
Haven't watched
Amazon.
it yet. It's on the list.
It is good.
That's the Amy Sherman Palladino.
Amy Sherman Palladino. It's the writing is still crisp. It's not quite as as Gilmore Girls, but just a little bit below that as far as the fast pace.
Cool.
And Miss Midge Maisel, which is the main character, she does have that rapid fire.
Yeah.
She's basically Lorelai as Jewish in the 1950s in New York, basically. And it's good. I mean, it's real. Tony Shalhoub as her father is amazing.
Excellent.
I mean, you forget what a good actor he is, after seasons of Monk, like we get it. You tortured by your wife.
He was good in that.
Yeah, well, he was good, but I stopped watching after about 4 or 5 seasons. I just
It's the same thing. Yeah.
I've seen this all before. I came back for the finale because they were supposed to answer the question of his wife's death. And here's the thing. I watched it. I don't remember if they resolved it or not.
I don't. I remember watching the last episode.
It has been flensed from memory.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he's good in this. He's amazing in this. I always forget her name. The woman who does the voice for Lois on Family Guy.
Alex Borstein.
Alex Borstein. She was originally supposed to be Lorelai Gilmore.
Really?
Yeah, but because she was still under contract to Mad TV, they went, we can't.
But she does pop up in the series a whole bunch.
She did pop up.
Which is nice. That
she was the dresser and the harp player, but she was supposed, and you know what? I think that was the right way to go.
Absolutely.
Because I can't see anyone other than Lauren Graham in that role.
Absolutely.
Well, she is in this as kind of a bohemian, maybe lesbian, maybe not, doesn't really matter, person who works at the comedy club where Midge gets started.
Okay.
And I'm noticing a trend that I was, I don't really care for it, in that they did this in Glow as well. They felt obliged to show the lead actress naked in the first episode and then never again, which leads me to believe, did you really need to show them naked in the first episode? Was that conducive to the story? In Glow,
it kind of is.
Yeah, because that's the basis for
the whole.
You didn't have to show the naked, but I get it.
And she was cool with that. Like I've heard interviews with Alison Brie, and she said, yeah, it was part of the thing, and I wanted to do it, and it was great. And
right. Well, just like bad dialogue or clumsy editing, if there is nudity in a film, and I think to myself, this is unnecessary. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are some people go, ha, 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 boobs, I love it.
Yeah, I'm not against nudity at all.
No, not at all. But I don't want it to be gratuitous. Like, well, we got to get her naked in here somewhere.
Yeah,
let's do that.
I don't want it to take me out of a good story.
Exactly. And it didn't take me out of either one of those series, but it was the first episode only.
Surprised the fuck out of me in Glow. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, because she doesn't do that, I don't think.
No, that was the first time.
Yeah.
That was the first thing she'd ever appeared in.
And like, okay, it after the initial, okay, and then got back into the story and it was fine. They also did this in Maisel, and it wasn't really, it may come, I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, because I am going to watch it.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay. Maybe they're so hungry for those first episode numbers that they try to do anything that'll retain people into. But now I know that's very cynical. But I think that may be part of it.
Maybe. I would like to think that Amy Sherman Palladino's name has enough weight that she, like, if she didn't want to do that, she wouldn't have had to do that.
Right.
So I'm sure she gets final cut on the whole thing. So maybe, did she write it?
Oh no, yeah. Her or her husband Daniel.
Right.
They trade off.
So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. But
Okay, that's definitely on my list.
That's a good one. And Lenny Bruce is in it.
Interesting.
Lenny freaking Bruce. So
who's playing him? Do you know?
I don't know. Someone
Okay.
I've never heard of before. As a matter of fact, aside from Tony Shalhoub and Alex Borstein, I think her ex-husband's father, Kevin Pollak, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's in that, and then there may be one or two other people that pop in, but for the most part, it's nobody.
Well, speaking of Tony Shalhoub, just to touch on, we did a whole episode on it. His sister is in another good television show that was on this year.
He has a sister?
He does.
Oh, tell me what?
Susan Larkin Shalhoub was the, I don't want to say receptionist, one of the office workers in the Hawkins Police Department in Stranger Things.
Oh,
She's local, yeah, and she's.
Okay.
I'm actually friends with her son Tony, who's also who's Tony Shalhoub's
Tony Shalhoub.
nephew, yeah.
Right.
But Stranger Things season 2 hit this year, and I thought it was every bit as good. We did the whole episode on it.
We did the whole episode.
So
on
that
it.
was good. The other show that I did start that we've talked about it, that it took me a while to get into it, was The Orville.
Yeah.
I really ended up really enjoying it once I was like, okay, this is just going to be Star Trek. Okay. Once I did that, once I got that out of my way, I was like, okay, good. I'm enjoying it.
I came in thinking, oh wow, it's going to be like a comedy Star Trek
Spoof.
and it's not.
No.
It's Star Trek with a few more and perhaps slightly more racy jokes.
Yes, totally.
But they can go 20 minutes without a single joke.
Yeah, there were some real serious episodes.
Yeah, and I'm like, and some interesting concepts. I'm wow, that could have easily been a Next Generation episode, no problem.
Right.
The concept is tight.
Yeah.
So I'm in. I was really wanting to drop the show. I'm like, I don't want to have another damn show. Then I went, well, let me watch another one. And I'm like, oh god damn it, it's too good.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed all of it. Like I said, once I realized what it was, because I was really confused by the first 2 episodes. It's like, what's happening? What is this?
Like, so what is Norm Macdonald gonna? Is he? Does he just show up and say something and then leave?
Kinda.
Did he record all his dialogue in like one section?
Probably.
And they're gonna parse it out over the episode. But it turns out that he's an actual full character.
Yeah.
So
a gelatinous character.
Full gelatinous character that
Yuff it.
that does things.
Oh yeah.
And goes places.
Yeah.
With people.
Yeah. And one specifically. So check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, that's kind of bordering on stalking creepy there.
No, yeah.
Remember what I said? You make your move, but if she curves you, then you stop.
Yeah.
But she's under no obligation.
She was under the influence of a thing.
Well,
she
that
was not.
no,
No
spoilers.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
people haven't watched.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, what else?
A show I watched which just came back, which you didn't watch, was the Grand Tour, which was basically Top Gear.
Is that the one with Stig?
It used to have the Stig. They were not allowed to use the Stig anymore.
Oh.
They changed it up.
Is that the one where they like had a parting of the hosts and something, and Matt LeBlanc's involved and something?
Right. The Top Gear was on BBC for 15 years, 20 years, something like that. And Jeremy Clarkson, who I can see being a total asshole, got fired for yelling at a writer or something. And the other,
you don't yell at the writers.
Exactly. And basically, the other 2 guys on the show said, no, we're not doing this without him. We're gone, too. They brought in some other host, and for some God knows why reason, they brought in Matt LeBlanc, and it did not do well. And they, it went foul. Like, there's an American version, and I think there's an Australian version, and they're not, the show is those guys. It is James May and Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond. And so they went and got a deal at Amazon, not Netflix, at Amazon, and started a show called The Grand Tour, which is virtually identical to Top Gear. Virtually. I mean, they've changed a couple things. They do poke fun at it. Like they were talking about the Allman Brothers one time, and the old theme for Top Gear was, I forget the name of the song, was an Allman Brothers tune.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, there's that song. They had that one song, and you never hear it anymore. That kind of thing. They make fun of I've watched, I think the first 2 episodes have been out. They were making fun of stuff they did last season. Like they had this whole bit where their celebrity guest died on the way to their studio, and they were like, yeah, we did this thing, Celebrity Brain Crash, last year, and everyone hated it because it was awful. So we're not going to do that this year. Good. So that was another one I liked. Speaking of Amazon, I have not yet gotten to watch it, but I want to watch The Tick as well. The Peter. I have
not watched it either. It's been out for the longest time.
It's been out for a while, and I watched the pilot. I watched the very first episode when they put it, because that's what they did. They did pilot season. They put up 1 episode, and if something gets picked up, they go with it. Tick got enough ratings, so I watched the pilot, and it was good. It was weird because I really enjoyed
the Warburton version,
and the cartoon, obviously, that was Townsend Coleman. But it's a different take. It's a little grittier, and he's not quite as dumb, but he kind of is. But it's Peter Serafinowicz, so I really, really enjoyed the first episode. I want to see where that goes. So.
All right. Well, maybe we'll talk about it in 2018.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get caught up by the time the next season comes out.
Yeah, maybe. What else is there anything else you have not seen that you want to?
Well, for me, I'm ashamed to say, the entire 3rd season of Mr. Robot.
Did that come and go already?
It came and went. They just had the season finale, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And I must have tried watching the first episode 3 times, and like my head just, I couldn't get back into it. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe read some synopsis, maybe watch the last episode of season 2. I've got them all queued up, ready to roll. Just, as much as I love Mr. Robot, for some reason, it just was.
I watched it. I didn't enjoy it as much as you did. Are you
talking about 3 or 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yeah, it didn't grab me as much. I was a little annoyed with the whole Fight Club aspect of it. It really kind of bugged me because I was like, God damn it, if they're doing this, I'm going to be mad, and they did it. I did want to see season 3 because I think our buddy Amber Nash was supposed to be do an episode, because I was over at Dad's Garage, and was talking about something with somebody, and I said, oh yeah, Nash is in New York. What's she doing up there? It's like, oh, she's doing Mr. Robot. I was like, holy shit, but I don't know if that happened or not, if that was real. So
we need someone to say, holy shit snacks. Who can we get?
Who can pull that off?
No. She has definitely more range than just Pam Poovey.
Yes, without
a doubt. She does Pam Poovey so fucking
well.
Yeah.
I missed the last season of Archer too. I couldn't find it for some reason, streaming anywhere.
It was okay. I wouldn't put it up in the top 3 best seasons. It was okay. They're trying something new, and some things work, some things didn't.
Okay.
I mean, just me, I'm happiest when they are ISIS or whatever they name themselves after.
Yeah.
They're in the corner building with a laundromat, and they're going out and doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Archer thing.
Okay.
The drug kingpin stuff was kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's Miami.
Archer Vice.
The Archer Vice was fun and stuff like that. But
the last season before this one was my favorite, though, the Figgis Agency one, where basically that was because that was kind of the same thing. They were just in a different place doing dumb shit.
As long as they're doing the dumb shit, that's important.
Yep.
A show that I've heard a ton about that I'm definitely going to indulge heavily in 2018 and get totally caught up is Peaky Blinders.
I have heard a buddy of mine watches that, and he says it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I have not. He showed me a couple bits and pieces of it, and yes, not costume drama, but it is a period piece.
It's a period, so therefore it's costume.
Technically, yeah, but it's not what people think of. It's not Merchant Ivory.
Right. And believe me, the pinnacle of costume drama, in my opinion, is Merchant Ivory.
But
I mean, like I said, The Crown is costume drama.
Yeah.
It's just more contemporary costumes.
Yeah.
But then again, let's face it, aren't every single film that doesn't take place are they wearing costumes? Yeah. Does it take place right this minute? No. Then it's a period costume.
But when people say period costume, they think Jane Austen. Exactly. That's what it immediately evokes.
Exactly.
So.
Which I appreciate, but that's not a requirement for me.
Yeah.
It's got to be British, and it has to take place more than about 20, 25 years ago.
Right, and this is like, and Peaky Blinders is like a rough.
Yeah, I think it takes place in Ireland for some, or North England.
Okay.
I can't. I read the
Wales.
synopsis one time and it just has escaped me. But I came away
Well, season
thinking
4, I want to say, just dropped on Netflix, like brand new, and it was like one of those where it's been like 2.5 years or something since 3, so people were really, really excited about it.
So what about you?
I've got more movies than TV that I want to see.
Go for it.
Baby Driver, I have not seen.
I hear such good things about it, but the concept, apparently it's in the filmmaking where the magic is for that film.
Yeah.
Because, the one paragraph synopsis goes, okay, why do I care? But everyone says it's good. So
Edgar Wright, and it's one of those things where I think you'll like it because he sketched the whole movie out to the music, to the soundtrack.
I heard about that because he puts on his headphones.
Well, the kid has like blew out his eardrum, and he's like a getaway driver, and the only way he can concentrate is he has to play music while he's driving. I think that's the
because he
one
probably has that
section.
constant ring in his ear,
exactly.
So he has to.
So I want to see
and
that.
it also has the distinction of probably, not guaranteeing, being the last successful film. Or film at all
with Kevin Spacey.
That Kevin Spacey was in.
Yep.
I did look at his IMDb recently, and there's a couple other
in the can. There had to have been,
Well, one of them was a Netflix show that I think it was him playing Gore Vidal, and that got canceled.
Yes,
because one, he's Kevin Spacey, and two, the production company was Netflix. When they ended their deal with Spacey, it wasn't just for House of Cards and nothing else. They severed all ties.
Yeah.
And then there's one other one that says it's in post-production. We'll see if it comes out.
Or if it just goes away.
I mean, on one hand, he's a great actor. On the other hand, I don't want to give any of my money or attention to a shitty slime ball.
Yeah.
I mean, no film, except for St. Elmo's Fire, is worth sacrificing my principle.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And luckily you don't have to.
I don't have to. Although Rob Lowe did hook up with those underage girls in Atlanta.
That was,
But it was after the film came out. So it's grandfathered in as a masterpiece.
Yeah, but still, that kind of kills him. But anyway. I want to see Atomic Blonde.
Oh, that's on my list as well.
Yep.
Just because you don't see too many James Bondy female
Jason Bourne kind of
characters.
And I love that. And she's perfect for that kind of thing.
She is, and if you like that kind of thing, as I do, you've got to know about, and if you haven't, you need to see The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis.
Yes, based on La Femme Nikita, basically.
No.
I'm thinking of no, there isn't. There was an American version of La Femme Nikita.
Oh, this is not that.
Okay.
There's memory loss, there's secret agent, there's brutal shit, there's betrayal, there's Sam Jackson with one of my favorite lines ever in a film.
Okay.
Something along the lines of, when you make an assumption, you make an ass out of you and umption.
That's the line. Yeah.
And I keep using it, and nobody thinks it's clever or funny. And I love that, so I keep using it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a movie coming out. It doesn't look great as a movie, but I like along the same lines. I like what they did. I think it's called Annihilation, and it's Natalie Portman, and it looks like a Predator type movie. We may have seen the preview when we saw. I saw it definitely when I saw Last Jedi with Courtney. We may have seen it. It's a strike team of women to go into a thing.
Oh.
Yeah, and
wow, maybe Hollywood has finally realized that there's a market.
I think it's coming around. Yeah, which is great. I was like, okay, because I was watching it going, this is cool, this is okay, like the effects are okay. It looks kind of standard, action flick, but I was like, everybody in it's a woman. The whole team is women. I was like, I'm okay. Just for that alone, I might go see the movie. What else?
And it's with Natalie Portman. I mean, I will see anything she does. Yeah. Even unfortunate superhero films that just don't really work.
Yeah, but they're not they're not as bad as the prequels.
No.
What else? I want to see Hitman's Bodyguard, the Ryan Reynolds, Sam Jackson movie. It just
which basically is him being Deadpool without the mask.
Yeah, it's just
the same
him being
wise
Ryan
ass.
Reynolds. Yeah.
Which I'm down. Well, that's his thing. That's his one note,
and he's
it's
been
a
that
sweet. Oh, for 20 years.
Yeah. He's always been
guy
that
and a girl in a pizza joint.
Exactly. That's where I first saw that guy. I was
Yeah.
like, who the fuck is this guy? I didn't get to see the sequel to Kingsman yet.
I'll catch it down the line. I mean, the first one was enjoyable. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It wasn't a masterpiece.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
But that's not a see in the movie theater thing for me at all.
Okay. We've been talking about we have to see I, Tonya, the Tonya Harding movie.
Yeah.
We know several people in it.
Exactly. I want to see the scene between
Our
Allison
buddy-
Janney and Suhaila Elatar.
Who was on our show in some of
Exactly.
the Doctor Who roundtables. I've heard nothing but rave reviews about Coco, the Pixar film.
I don't get that. Now, the concept just it doesn't speak to me, but it's been such a success that I'm the first to admit that sometimes my first impressions are dead ass wrong.
Right.
Kind of like with St. Elmo's Fire. When I first
All right,
heard
you got
about
it in there once. Chill out.
Oh no, this is the episode where I go for a record number of St. Elmo's Fire reference. Now, when I first saw it, I went, but apparently it is on par with the numbers for Justice League.
It beat Justice League
for one
weekend,
yeah.
but I mean, still,
when you got it's perfect counter programming.
Yeah.
You're not going to take a 10-year-old to Justice League,
and it's fucking Pixar. I mean, they don't misstep rarely without the sequels that have cars in them. But
no, they're gonna. Well, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
And apparently they're going back to the Toy Story well.
Yeah, they're doing 4.
So I'm still recovering from the last 10 minutes of 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I was totally blue velveting that thing. Like, look away! Don't you look at me!
What's Kevin Smith called that movie Schindler's Toy Box.
Oh, ouch!
Because it's tough, man. He's like, man, when they hold hands and they resolve to go down together, he's like, it's over. And so they're doing that. They're also doing Incredibles 2, which I am unbelievably excited about.
I know when it first came on in the previews before Jedi, as soon as I saw the kind of stylized text they were using, like, is this a sequel to the? Oh, and you're like, yeah, it is.
Brad Bird's been trying to make this for 10 years. I mean, and that was one of the best. That was before Marvel. That was like the best superhero movie that was out.
Hey, maybe this time, capes.
Oh, no capes.
No capes?
No capes.
All right.
They say literally it starts 1 second after the end of the first one. It's
nice.
Yeah, the Underminer or the Mole Man comes up, and they're going to go from there.
Perfect.
So they didn't age at all. Jack is still a baby.
It's been 10 years, though.
It's been longer than that, yeah.
My gosh, how could they have not aged?
I know. It's magic.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
What else? The movie called Professor Marston and the Wonder Women.
Yeah, I think that kind of came and went already.
It did. It was not going to be a blockbuster.
No.
It's a dramatization of the actual creation of the Wonder Woman character and the freak who
the kind of bondage lie detector.
Yeah, William Marston, something like that. I always forget how to pronounce his name. He created Wonder Woman, but he was a psychologist and he worked on the project to create the polygraph test. And he was in a weird polyamorous relationship that delved into BDSM and stuff, which is fine, but it's like
good for them.
Very surprising for the 40s, I want to say it was.
I would say no, in the sense that every freaky thing that's going on now that's not dependent on the freak aspect of it being part of technology.
Yeah.
Like sexting. Obviously, that could not have happened, at least in that form, Telegram, what are you wearing? Telegram, it's very expensive. It takes forever.
Yes.
You never get to climax.
Right.
It doesn't work. But all those kind of impulses and draws that people have for sexuality and other stuff, they're eternal.
Oh, yeah.
It's just how they manifest themselves.
Right.
They make themselves they avail themselves of the current technology or means of socialization or socializing with people that are available.
Yeah, people have been doing weird shit for
Yeah.
millennia.
And everyone's like, oh, it's so much worse nowadays.
It's exactly the same as it ever was.
Exactly.
People have been doing this forever.
Exactly. You know, the stuff that's going on now, you know, this never happened back in the 60s or the 50s.
Sure it did.
Sure it did.
People
it's
just
just
didn't
that
talk about
so
it.
much more of it now is acceptable, if not in main culture, at least acceptable to talk about.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, oh my God, she's divorced? We must shun her.
Exactly.
Where nowadays it's like, oh, just one divorce?
Right.
Okay, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
It's changed, but the same freaky stuff that may be considered somewhat freaky now as horribly taboo back then, happened then, happens now, will happen in the future.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's just funny. There's a stage play called Lasso of Truth, which is about the same exact story, which was done here in Atlanta.
Yes, it was.
And
with perfectly executed
technology.
Yeah.
Inside joke. No, it was actually well done. It was just a long road to get there. But I remember watching it, and it's about this guy, and you know, not to be judgmental, about his sexuality or their sexual practices. It was really interesting if you like take a step back and look at Wonder Woman. It's like, oh, it's a woman in a corset with bracers and a lasso that she ties you up and makes you tell the truth. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't ever think about that. So, yes, that's a movie I'm definitely
It's kind of
wanna
like revealing, you know, to a couple of Mormon female friends of mine when I was traveling back in the 90s, exactly what was going on in the lyrics to YMCA or in the Navy. They're like, no. Hey, have you heard Turning Japanese? No.
She-bop and
Exactly. They're like, oh my gosh, I must tell the bishop we have to add that to the forbidden list of songs.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Another one I want to see is Kumail Nanjiani's movie, The Big Sick.
Oh yeah, I have a
Supposed to
feeling
be
that
one.
is going to be half hilarious and half, oh my God, my heart's being ripped
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. And they say it's a phenomenal movie. It's him and his wife Emily Gordon wrote it, and
Well, it's their story.
it's their story. It's basically it is exactly their story of how they got together, and he's in it because he's a good actor, and she is not in it because she admittedly said, "I am not a good actor, so I'll have someone else play." Yeah,
Good, wonderful.
Yep.
You know,
she produced it. She wrote it with him.
A man or a woman's got to know their limitations.
Exactly. So,
And that's one that relates back a little bit to the Daily Show this year. I think it finally came into its own with Trevor Noah.
really,
You know, I mean, it was a little. I think the I Miss John-ness has worn off completely now. Still love John.
Yep.
Would have him back in a second, but we're very happy with Trevor Noah.
Good.
And he has made, not that John failed in this regard, but he has made the correspondents more people of color and more women than previously.
Good.
Which I was like, oh, nice. And I think a lot of it, although, was because Larry Wilmore's show got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
And Trevor Noah probably like, you and you are brilliantly talented. Come to the show. And they just have to be people of color or women.
Good.
But, you know,
I'm not a Daily Show junkie like you are, but I will watch like clips of rants and things that he has done. He is
there's
good.
been some pretty good takedowns.
Yeah, and like I love it when they get, you know, I can't be funny about this. This sucks, and here's why. You know, when they do those kind of pieces.
The Jon Stewart one after 9/11.
Yeah.
After a couple of the shootings. It's
Well,
like
even
that-
just the angry ones, like, you know, I can't make jokes about this. This is what the GOP has done, and so
Well, hey, we're all going to be millionaires by the end of 2018 because of this tax bill.
yes.
I mean,
we are.
that's how it works, right?
Yeah, that's we're all scrambling to buy private jets so we can write them off.
Exactly. Hey, I can finally write my yacht off.
Yes, exactly.
Wonderful. Hey, rising tide raises all yachts.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, the last movie on my list that I definitely want to see, and I never thought I'd say this.
Samuel's Fire.
No,
Magnolia.
No.
No.
I've seen those. is an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, really? Is he back with something that doesn't suck?
Evidently, yeah. A movie
He
called...
must not have written it.
No, he wrote it. It's a
Oh.
movie called Split. And it's with James McAvoy, and it's about a man who has 22 personalities.
Oh, I've seen the previews for that.
And
you're not gonna like the last
yeah,
one.
and they're all afraid of the 23rd personality, and it ties into one of his other movies, and that's why I'm excited. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to give it away, but it makes me. It excites me that
unless it's The Sixth Sense, I don't care because
Right.
all his other films,
okay, well,
they're not completely irredeemable, but they mostly are.
okay.
And I'm saying that not from the viewpoint of, wow, Sixth Sense was so good, nothing else matches up to it. I'm talking just taking it as its own thing.
Yeah.
Where you're like, wow, I see the gimmick that you went with. That was a gimmick. Okay.
Well, that became his thing.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
The Rod Serling.
What they twist.
What they twist, exactly.
And, you know, I appreciate you trying to do that, but you're going to have to get more twisty.
Yep.
Because the only word of mouth coming out of M. Night Shyamalan films in the last 15 years has been, oh, God.
Yeah.
Why is this guy still making
But
films?
this one is actually supposed to be really, really good. So I will let you know.
Hey, redemption is not just for people who grabbed butts. It's for people who've consistently made bad films for...
Right, and if he could get a movie made and it's good for him.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So,
but
as long as it's not Lady in the Water Part 2.
No.
I
But
didn't even want Part 1.
I was wrong. There is one other movie that I want to see.
Yeah.
It's the one you had just mentioned.
What, Lady in the Water?
No.
Dear God.
No, you mentioned it before.
What was that?
The Guillermo del Toro movie.
Oh, yes, The Shape of Water.
Yes.
I'm down with that 100%.
Very.
I think
It's very strange because I literally never heard of it until it opened.
Really?
I didn't. You know, I may have said this on another show, but I'm so plugged into that stuff that. You know, I always know what's kind of, you know, I'm always in the zeitgeist. I know what's coming. And all of a sudden I heard, I was listening to a radio show and they were doing a preview. Their weekend preview movies. And they played the preview for this new movie called The Shape of Water. And I was like, what the hell is that? And I went and looked at the thing. I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing. It's Guillermo's Edward Scissorhands, basically. Ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'd be in, not necessarily to the degree I am now, having seen the trailer, but if I had just heard, oh, Guillermo del Toro has a new film, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because he's the opposite of M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes.
He doesn't have to prove anything to me. I'm in.
Right.
Because if you're doing it, at the very least, it'll be interesting, if not really brilliant. And after seeing the trailer, I went,
No, it's really
okay.
brilliant. Yeah.
The storyline that... the bones of the story that the rest of the film is hung on is very old hat.
Yeah,
We've seen it a million times before, but I have faith because it's Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, it's in the execution. It's how and what they do with it's a timeless story. It's Beauty and the Beast. It's
hey, maybe now if this
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
If this is a big success, we will finally get the Creature from the Black Lagoon remake that we've always wanted.
I think this is it. From what I get.
Maybe this is what happens when you capture the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Well, I
and he turns out to be a nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy. The problem is I don't think. Speaking of like Creature of the Black Lagoon,
we're never going to see it. Because
we're not going to see it
because that Universal Mummy film was a total
disaster.
Piece of shit.
Yeah,
and nobody liked it. Nobody wanted it.
Right.
They were supposed to reboot the Monsters universe, and they did it in the worst possible way.
Well,
God bless him for not starting with Dracula. We're done with vampires for a while.
Yeah.
Let us catch our breath. We're still suffering after.
Well, again, the
fatal
flaw in that was the star. It wasn't a
was
movie
Tom
about
Cruise
the mummy.
film.
It was a Tom Cruise movie with him hanging off airplanes.
Exactly.
Stop doing that. That's not going to do your thing anymore.
If I was going to greenlight that series, I would say, the creature, the character, the villain, the whatever, that's paramount, and let's not have any, big name casting. Let the story
make it about the mummy.
And maybe drop the budget down. Instead of 150 million, let's go with 80.
Yeah,
maybe let's go with 100 tops.
Get a good filmmaker
But
who can make
there's a mentality in Hollywood that says certain things that aren't proven. You got to attach a star to it, or it's just not going to bring people in.
Yes, because no one's ever heard of The Mummy.
And that's the thing. They've got so much reserved goodwill for those characters that haven't been really properly exploited in their own universe.
Yeah.
And
They tried, and I think it's dead on the vine.
I think they might take another shot at it.
Yeah, I think
If they do, I would say Frankenstein would be the one.
I think they had a couple in pre-production, but I think it was Javier Bardem was supposed to be Frankenstein or the monster.
Oh, he could pull that off.
Yeah, so let's see if they
friendo.
Yeah, let's see if they pump some money into that. The only other thing I'm looking forward to, obviously, is, and supposedly still in May, is the Han Solo movie. Supposedly May 25th is going to be the Han Solo movie. Yeah.
No, that's pushed.
I don't know.
That's pushed to December.
Is it official?
I'm willing to bet the moisture farm on it.
All right. I keep hearing that it's still.
Well,
let's check in on that. Yeah, according to this, May 25th, 2018. Still, I am still dubious that it's going to make it.
Yeah, because when they lost their the Lego directors,
yep, they
smartly said, "All right, we're going to push it." And let's face it, if Disney wants to essentially own Christmas forever, just put them out. You don't have to put out Star Wars films in May.
3 in a
just
row.
December.
That's what they've been doing.
Just have other studios go. Oh, unless we're counter-programming, we're not doing anything on 2 weeks either side of Star Wars ever.
And nothing comes out in May anyway. Yeah. Like it's the pre-summer, thing. And
we'll see. I mean, it's.
I think they'll push it to Christmas. I don't think they'll be able to do the post in enough time. But
yeah, because shooting, 6 to 8 weeks, post 6 to 8 months.
Oh, at least.
If not more. Well, you saw at the end credits how, it's not like they give it to ILM and have them do it. They do a section.
They outsource to the whole world.
I mean, if we wanted to make millions of dollars, we should start our own effects studio, our own post, effects studio.
Post house, yeah.
And just we're available. Like, sure, fine. Here's $2 million. Do this 20-minute section of the film or whatever. I want to talk about going back to television. A new series that debuted, just wrapped up its first series of 10 episodes. It's called I Love You, America.
Oh, Sarah Silverman.
Yes,
I watched the interview with
Roxane Gay.
No. I can't remember her name. The girl from the Westboro Baptist Church.
Karen Phelps, I believe.
It's not Karen. Megan Phelps. Megan Phelps.
Megan Phelps.
Because she did Kevin Smith's Smodcast.
Yes, she did. Because
when
he protested his own film at Sundance.
Yep. He counter-protested their protest, and they started barbing each other on Twitter. Yep. And he was like, she was cool about it. She was wrong in everything she was saying, but she was cool and jovial about it, and it never got angry. So he was like, she said she even credits him as to being one of the first sparks of maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, because he said, because what he said to someone attacked her, and his response was, leave her alone. She just got bad information growing up.
Yeah.
And she was like, wait a minute. What does that mean? It wasn't she's a horrible, wrong person. It's she got bad info, and she's like, maybe I did. So I watched that interview with
She is
Sarah.
the frog in the pot that doesn't realize that she's been slowly being cooked over all her entire life.
Wait, everything my entire family told me my whole life was wrong? Oh, that's a hard thing to swallow.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but I've not seen the rest of the series. Is it good?
It's it's Sarah Silverman, so it's
so it is good.
It's hit or miss in places, but she goes there with a lot of stuff like she does.
Right.
It's not really skit heavy. There's a couple of bits where she, goes amongst the Trump voting Midwesterners and sister fuck Arkansas or wherever she goes, and she's their first Jew.
Right.
See, no horns.
Yeah.
And I voted for Trump, and then she said, well, I don't know. she confronts them in kind of a ha-ha-ha way,
Yeah.
as opposed to fuck you and fuck your vote and you have destroyed America. Thank you for doing that.
Right.
She shows respect, which, as angry as I am about
That's
anything
the only
related
way
to
it's gonna
Trump,
work. Yeah.
yeah, if you go at someone, ready to throw punches,
Nothing gets
verbally,
resolved, yeah.
they will defend themselves and attack back, and nobody gets anywhere.
Right.
But if the quickest way to either escalate or end a fight is if someone's screaming in your face, you go, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
Either it's going to piss them off so much they're going to attack you,
Or you say,
or
well-
it diffuses it. They're like,
Or you just show them, well, no, this is why it's wrong, and sometimes it's like, oh, wait a minute.
well, sometimes not even that, just not meeting their anger with anger.
Yeah, exactly.
Just being, like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I feel this way, and it diffuses the situation.
Yep.
So, I'd give it a solid B.
Okay.
It's not the game. I'm a big Sarah Silverman fan.
Me too,
'cause,
me too.
She takes things in weird directions.
Yes, she does.
And the last show I want to talk about is the 4th season of Transparent, which I've just started.
Yes.
And unfortunately, this ties back to our
Yep.
first topic, because apparently Jeffrey Tambor, I don't know if it's sexual. I heard that it might be a bit, or that he's just kind of a dick on the set.
Yeah.
But he has left the show after 4 seasons.
Right, and can it hold up?
Yes,
It can?
absolutely.
Okay.
If this had happened after season 1 or 2, I'd say probably best to end it. But the rest of the characters have developed so wonderfully, and there are other transgendered characters.
So it's not just about him.
Exactly. So
Her.
if Jeffrey Tambor's character is gone, there is still a transgendered character on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, now of course, Transparent, it's a
Yeah.
play. There's not a parent.
But
that's
a lot of shows
transgendered.
do that, where
Yeah.
the premise starts as a thing and then it goes
Becomes
off.
another thing.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good writing.
Right, and the writing is so top notch.
Okay.
I mean, it's that kind of, it's, I guess, the other genre that I appreciate so much beyond prim and proper costume drama for Brit. It's that slice of life thing.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not
a big
like
fan of that too.
here's the villain, we fight. Oh no, we've lost, but wait, we rise again, then we win. Or there's a problem that we have to solve. It's more like bump in the road, joy, sorrow, bump in the road.
Yeah, life.
Yeah, exactly.
just life.
That's why I call it slice of life.
Yeah.
It's life. It's just somebody else's life. It's not your life, and you get to watch what happens in their life.
Right.
And maybe they're Jewish, or maybe they're left-handed, or maybe they're a rock star or a therapist or whatever, things that you are not.
Yeah.
And I think the show should, and I think it will continue.
It's popular.
It's darn good, but Jeffrey.
Yeah. We're gonna get let down more by a lot more of our heroes coming up, or our actors, I should say.
A friend of mine, I don't know if she was quoting or if she came up with this quote, but I really like it. It goes along the lines of place the neck of your heroes on the altar of a better tomorrow.
Yeah.
In the sense that you love this person. Oh, they did an awful thing?
Let them go.
Bye.
Yeah, cut 'em,
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
And, let's purge that stuff out of there. And so, but hopefully, I'm hoping that maybe if someone patted someone on the ass on the set of a film in 1980, and that's all they did,
They turn around and go, "Hey, I'm sorry I did that. That was really awful.
that was
and
uncool."
wrong." Yeah.
I would say, all right, as long as it's not a history of grabbing ass for the last 35 years, okay. Get the person whose ass you touched to forgive you, then I'll be okay with it and we can move on.
Yep.
But if you're Weinstein in it, no. I don't care. I don't care if every one of your victims forgives you.
You still don't get forgiven.
No, I'm sorry. There's that's not cool. Now, speaking of uncool, and this is definitely uncool. You know who our president is?
Yeah.
You know who?
Speaking of uncool.
Yeah, we know who he is, and we know who he is.
Yeah.
Apparently, his plans for 2018 include going.
Medication time. Medication time.
We ran out of time. I will tell you next year.
The 9 Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Beni Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Lohner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Deep Thought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the offices of Howard and Fine. Let's all hope and pray for the fate of the DC Cinematic Universe. Our intro music was written by Tim Akers. This podcast was sponsored by BCHAG Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Listen, watch on YouTube, listen on SoundCloud, stream us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or email us comlink@billionpod.com. Till this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Michael Reed.
Hello, Z.